Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining Power Grid. Now, Power Grid on the book, if you're going by looking at the rulebook, seems like an extraordinarily difficult game to kind of get your head around. There's a lot of minutiae in the rules, but once it's up and playing, it actually isn't as difficult as it looks. So let's jump into the explanation. In Power Grid, we're set up as you can see in front of you, and they are the available power stations. What we're trying to do is to get up to 17 of our cities all powered. So the cities are marked with these little house things and they go on any of the cities. From your beginning point, you will be able to connect. It will cost you money to be able to do that connections, be able to connect city to city to city and gradually build out everything you've got. If you're not able to power your cities on a turn, that's fine. You can still build the cities, but you just won't get the income for powering them. So let's run through the game just in order and we'll see how everything kind of works out. First thing is player order is marked by those colors up the top. So blue is our first player, purple, then green. That will change as the game goes on. Whoever has the most cities in their network will go earlier. If there's the same number of cities, then it's whoever has the most powered cities. We then go to an auction phase. What we're auctioning is the top row of power stations that are able to be used. So what each of the power stations is telling you is this is the cost to power this many cities. At the moment, all 4 of the power stations that are available for auction are only able to power 1 city at a time. The number in the top left corner shows what the minimum bid for that city must be. So the first player will select one of those cities. For example, they might choose that one and they might say 5. Once the first player has made a bid, it then just goes around the table staying in the seating order to auction and to kind of say, I will pay this much for this place. Once it's left to one person, that person pays the amount of money that has been bid and that goes in front of them. Then the lowest card goes into the auction pile and we flip over another card. The 13 is always on top. Everything after this point is at random. And so we're looking at the 4 lowest in the actual bidding, the 4 highest in the futures market. So what's going to come through. That goes around until everyone has bid on their or passed on their auction. So everyone theoretically was able to pick up a power plant. As I said before, the top number is the lowest number for the auction. This shows you what is needed to power that many houses. So in this case, we would use either rubbish or oil to power one house. That's 2 rubbish or oil. And it could be a combination of the 2 on that one. Then we go to the buying resource phase. Starting with the last player, so in this case green, he would purchase resources first, then purple, then blue. And what you're purchasing, you can only purchase what your power plant can hold. So if this is what one of the people had, they would only be able to purchase oil for that power plant. So this player can have either coal or oil to go onto this particular power plant. This is where the values of stuff come in. So at the bottom here, you'll notice that the coal is worth 1 money each. So it's worth his to purchase all 4 coal. That's held his power plant to the maximum that he can purchase. So he can purchase whatever's on the bottom twice. And for that, he would then pay 3, 4, 5 money out of his stash of cash. The resources on your power plant, because you can only have a maximum of 3 power plants, which I may not have said already, so 3 power plants maximum. If you wish to purchase a 4th, you'll then get rid of one of the power plants that you already have. You can rearrange the resources that you have onto different power plants at any point during the game. So having the same power plants or power plants that use the same resource is actually a really useful thing for this game. Then we go to the building phase. So again, we start with the last player. So green is going to build first. He might choose to build there, and that would cost him 10 money. He can then choose to build future plants. Because he has the money to do it, he could then go on to, say, build down into Houston. So he's going to spend 5 money to get to Houston, and then the 10 money for the city. He could spend another 3 and 10, so another 13. So those two with the change to be able to get up into Oklahoma. Now, because he doesn't have enough money to get into another city and build in it, he's going to stop there. And so you can see straight away that green is able to do some more stuff. But as a starting point, he's only going to be able to most likely power one or possibly two of those places. After the starting round, every other city that you choose to build into must connect to the ones that you've already built in. There are 3 different steps on this game. So we're in the first step at the moment, and so therefore only one player is going to be able to build in each city. However, once we hit the second step, you're able to build a second spot, but it's going to cost 15 money for the second person to build in the city. And when we hit step 3, that's when the third one will become available for the third player to build in. And once again, that will cost them 20 money to build in that city. Everyone who has selected their starting spots must be connected to other people. So because this orange area is being built, let's say purple's built in there, blue would only have the choice of going to the yellow, the green, or the purple area. It's probably in his best interest to build in the purple area. So they have to be next to each other, because what's going to become available is these guys are going to be able to build into the areas of the other guys around them to enable themselves to build bigger structures or bigger areas or networks, which means that these ones here are not going to be used at all during the game. Once all the buildings happened, we then go to a bureaucracy stage, which is basically looking at how many cities are able to be powered. So blue with this is able to power one of his cities. So they'll cost him 2 of those goods to power one city. One city will then get him 22 money income, which is just there, to be able to build some more stuff into the future. As power plants were purchased, we should have updated these guys onto however many spaces can be powered. We then look and go, green has the most, so green becomes first player for future rounds. Purple and blue have the same number, and theoretically the same number are able to be powered, so they stay in the same order. We then refill using the back of the board, so the number of players will change how many things refill. We're in step 1 at the moment, so we're putting in 4 of the coal. Now there's only 2 coal left, so we're only able to put 2 in the resources available. We put in 2 more oil, 1 more trash or garbage, and 1 more uranium. And then we go back up to step 1 or phase 1 and keep going through the game that way. At this point in the game, we also grab the highest valued power plant in the futures market, which is this one, and that goes face down on the bottom of the stack. And that will become available in phase 3 once we get to that, and then we replace that and go again. And we keep going around until step 2 happens. Step 2 will happen when someone is able to have the 7th city. So there's 3 at the moment. Once the 7th is connected in or more, then we move on to step 2, which allows the second player to have a house in each city. When you're setting up stage 2, you'll remove the lowest level of power plant in the grid that's available. And when this gets through to this card, that's when step 3 will happen or will start. And then the game continues until someone has 17 cities in a 3 or 4 player game, 15 in a 5 player game, or 14 in a 6 player game, or 21 in a 2 player game. That city's powered, and that person triggers the end of the game. And the winner is the person who can power the most cities in their supply. If there's a tie, we look at who has the most money left over. And that's the rules for Power Grid. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you wish to be Gamesplained, please shoot me an email at thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games that I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.